Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien coming to you from our Klean studios here on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. Now we've got some potential good news for smokers trying to quit. I know the feeling. Gradual smoking cessation may be possible with nicotine addiction pills. Now, a study by the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota found that a pill can help smokers quit gradually when they can't go cold turkey, suggesting that it might be time to revisit practice guidelines that focus primarily on immediate cessation. Now, lead study author Dr. John Ebert, a professor in primary care and internal medicine, says, quote, "This allows us to reach a much broader population of smokers who aren't willing to quit abruptly or who want to set a quit date. And it shows that people can quit without going cold turkey." Now, this is very strong support for changing clinical practice to include gradual reduction aided by medication. This all further highlights that a balanced approach is the best way to treat a problem. All right, unless you've been living under a rock in the Mojave Desert or been on Mars for the past year, you've heard about the game Candy Crush from game maker King Digital Entertainment. Now, this simple game of matching colored candies has been so popular, King just went public under a year ago. However, Candy Crush is less about entertainment and more about preying on human addiction tendencies. Now, shortly after their IPO, The Guardian looked at the science on how Candy Crush gets you addicted. When you start playing the game, it's free, it's easy, providing quick satisfaction. There's many rewards in our brains that release dopamine, tapping into the brain activity involved in addiction. More and more. And as you go on, the game gets harder, and those bursts of dopamine become less frequent. You lose more than you win, never knowing when you'll have your next victory. It's a lot like going to Vegas slot machines. You can't predict when you'll win. If you could, we'd all be there now. But you win enough and often enough to keep you coming back. This was sad news for me. New York Times media columnist David Carr, good friend, passed away last week after collapsing at the New York Times newsroom. Carr went from Midwestern alternative weekly writer to one of the most prominent media critics in the history of our country. His battle with addiction is well documented. In his 2008 memoir, The Night of the Gun, he detailed his past experiences with cocaine addiction and included interviews with people from his past, tackling his memoir as if he were reporting on himself and offering this insight on addiction. The best way to fight it is by accepting it. When I was writing my book, I reached out to him for some help when I had writer's block, and he said, "You know what, Pat? Just keep typing until it becomes a book." And that's a good metaphor. Keep trying recovery until you recover.